esteemed Secretary Maharaj, Principal of the college, dear colleagues from Botany and Zoology departments, research scholars and students of master's and degree programs. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here for a day in Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda College, Chennai. I first deliver a brief talk about inauguration of the Botany Association, then move on to the lecture focusing on biodiversity under the current global change scenario. It is heartening to learn that such occasions of association inaugurations would kindle the interest of both faculty and students to be in the forefront of subject arena. These are some of the occasions in which we invigorate ourselves. What next? How much we can upgrade with respect to the developments that are happening in various branches of our own botanical science. And what are the interlinkages? These are some of the occasions to revisit certain areas, try to fill up some gaps in terms of new areas of teachings and in particular research, and how much we can be in par with many other subjects and institutions so that our programs become very successful. My sincere encouragements and best wishes for the association, Botany Association, to perform better in years to come and encourage the students in particular on the teaching front and in particular research areas. India has a long way to go, but has the greatest potential than any other places in the world. While I was delivering my talk in the University of California, then President of the US, in another hall, was addressing the US students, remarking that you guys in US, in years to come, have to compete with upcoming Indians and Chinese. That is the level of and the potential of Indian students. As Secretary rightly said, I would fully endorse the statements that he has been making. You have great potential, but hidden. You need to take that latent talent out. And these are some of the occasions and opportunities for that. When do we rise up? The innate Indian hesitation. I talk all this. I was also like you. Remember, my dear students, mighty banyan trees even start from millimeter diameter seed. Natural. So, you have long way to go, and as Secretary also mentioning, diversity is the essence of life. It's a great opportunity for students of life sciences of various branches, botany in particular. Why I make botany in particular? Chlorophyllous plants are the primary producers. Life starts from there. Where else from? That way, the subject gains its own ecological importance and as a feeder system to the all biota of the globe. Diversity in terms of everything. So that way, to enthuse both faculty, scholars and students as well, these are some of the occasions to rise up and plan well for utilizing various opportunities and the infrastructure facilities that have been newly built up, design your experiments as to make potentially use all these instruments. There are two ways of looking at science frontiers. And this has been addressed by even presidents of India in very many fora. One is you design your research work. Second thing is based on the available infrastructure, you can have some of them designed so that they are effectively used. And this I would strongly encourage, in tune with the mentioning made by the earlier speakers. Do make use of the facilities. It's great to see. Even universities struggle to obtain a facility. I have witnessed here. These are the ground realities, and ultimately it is for you people. As Secretary was telling, we think a lot about you people. While I was delivering lecture day before yesterday in Pondicherry University, special lecture, all the students of Ecology, Environmental Sciences and Research Scholars, Dr. Rajagopal telephoned. I said, I'm in special lectures, I'll get back to you to get the title for the talk. These are opportunities, and the moment they get the date from me, I mark in the calendar, number one. My mind keeps thinking, how would I organize my lecture? And this needs to penetrate you like white chalk dipped in green ink. You would be U++ after the lecture. This is the kind of thinking, I wouldn't say expectation. Sometimes expectations lead to disappointments. But I never lose that. A couple of previous batch students asked, you teach the same title of subject. Don't you get bored? For the last 37 years, 38th batch, I made a special lecture day before yesterday. I said, never. I change the input forever. Subject is advancing like anything, and it's not the same listeners at the same time. And it needs to penetrate us. And we need to realize, other important point is, we are blessed. Particularly students and scholars and faculty of natural science, in particular plant science and ecological science, are blessed creatures. We are in touch and tune with nature. Nobody else has that opportunity. And originality, Secretary was talking about. That's something that your fingerprint. Originality is something that will be always appreciated. The University of California meet with coordinating 16 lionologies there based on the original idea I had in 2001. They formed it as a project. And Liana science, lianas are woody climbers. Liana science as a subject took its lift from Indian soil. I wouldn't say me as an individual. It's the question of thinking. Never arrest your thinking process. You have a long way to go and lot to achieve. I reiterate the fact, Indians have great potential. Take the opportunity, and my best wishes and sincere encouragements to one and all for taking forward through association and with the infrastructure and facilities you have in this institution. It will go a long way. Best wishes again, and let's move on to the topic now. Are you ready? Are you receptive? Yes? Okay. I chose to speak on biodiversity conservation under global change scenario. Dear students, you need not have to listen to this lecture like your regular classroom in a tight manner. Relaxed manner, watch this like a movie you like more. So that goes in without you knowing that it is going in. Okay, so biodiversity, the totality of biota, kinds of biomes, biodiversity, and complex interactions and species together in a complex manner. Biodiversity as a word is not just the number count of species. It is the complex interactions of all species put together in given geographical locations of the world. We need to understand that better to have our programs successful for conservation of species. Under the changing scenario, changes are happening and they become inevitable. Inevitable, I reiterate the statement, you have witnessed Wayanad situation recently. We are not going to analyze here, synthesize here, why, what, where, but stored in mind. Let's move on to the topic. Am I audible? Is the sound to the last row too? Okay, fine. Global warming and the CO2 level rise. CO2 level has risen from 280 ppm during the pre-industrial era to 425 ppm last month. You can always log on to co2.com or co2.earth to know the present CO2 level. This is the increase and that's going on this way. To absorb the excess, to absorb the excess CO2 released through various sources, we need to enhance the greenery plant systems through photosynthesis. It takes up CO2, releases oxygen. But on the other hand, deforestation has been progressive. With all the efforts put in by governmental, non-governmental organizations, deforestation has been on the increase, will be on the increase. We are not pessimists in stating so. These are ground realities. We need to accept the fact. If you see the developmental activities of all the departments of the ministries and governments, all curves will be up and up. How can it be possible? One construction is possible only even with least destruction only. This is natural nature. So, under the current scenario of changing conditions, particularly exceedingly high rates of tropical deforestation, that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in temperate system. It does happen, but the rate is not so high. Loss also not so high. I will draw your attention at a later context when we specifically look at the level of biodiversity between the tropical and temperate systems. Pollution through various sources, climate change that has been happening. I used to say 10 years ago, perceivably happening. We are now witnessing very well. Overexploitation of resources. What will happen? Ultimately, we lose resources. Look at the attention that we need to provide. Pre-industrial time to orange alert to red alert. The way at which it goes. Okay? So, the temperature increase. Hardly 1.5 degrees Celsius for that. We are struggling like anything. We are struggling. Winters are becoming colder and colder. Summers are becoming hotter and hotter. Rainfall pattern is erratic. These are some of the realities. But biota on the lone planet Earth have to adapt themselves accordingly as much as we do. So we need to no other go. Biota need to, but we need to better understand that and see how much of mitigation efforts can go in. The world spends in trillions of dollars for climate change mitigation, but that goes in arithmetic ratio, this goes in geometric ratio. This is the level of difference. So we need to have the preparedness for facing the challenges that we are having. Basically, when you want to talk about biodiversity distribution, it starts with in different biomes or ecosystem types, then biodiversity they hold, then we are using them as bioresources. Biome distribution is primarily climate is the major ecosystem driver. Along the gradient of it, 18 to 30 degrees Celsius, tropical, up to 3 degrees Celsius, warm temperate, then cold temperate up to -7, beyond which marks the timber line or tree line. No tree species can grow in that temperature condition. Hence, they are called treeless biomes, the northern tundra and the southern Antarctic tundra. You apply lip balm in cold winter, right? Tree roots crack due to coldness, permanently frozen soil, permafrost it's called, this region. Hence, you have only small herbs and shrubs in tundras. Here across this is with respect to mean annual temperature. Mean annual is minimal 20-year, ideally 100-year of data. 100-year data processed to obtain mean annual temperature and precipitation. In precipitation, rainfall is the major component. Do you follow? Do you understand? Do you understand? I try to make it in simple English. Whenever if need be in Tamil, I can, but I hope you can reach me through the supportive slides. Yes? Are you comfortable? Yes? Yes? Okay. Fine. Along this mean annual temperature gradient, the second important variable is the mean annual rainfall they get. In the tropics, least rainfall, deserts, moderate rainfall, savanna, woodlands and thorn forests like you have in Vandalur, dry forest like in Mudumalai, and evergreen forest as in Nilgiris, Kodaikanal, Agastya Malai hills of the western Ghats, Kulli hills of the eastern Ghats, etc. Along the gradient of from least to most quantum of rainfall, its a temperate counterpart, hot desert, cold desert. Tropical tall grass savanna, temperate short grass grassland, like your screensaver on the system. Dry forest, tropical, temperate deciduous forest as you get in Japan, California, etc. Tropical rainforest or evergreen forest, tropical upper mountain forest like Nilgiri, Palni hilltop, which experience a temperate climate because of the altitudinal effect. This is due to latitudinal effect, this is due to altitude. Clear? Every 100 meter up elevation, 4 degrees Celsius down. That's why you get in Nilgiri and Palni hilltop, upper montane forest. Tropical montane means mountainous. Then you have the coniferous forests. Pine, fir, spruce, etc. Pinus seen? You have Christmas tree in your campus, that is a coniferous tree. Beyond which tree line or timber line, you have only shrubs and herbs, grasses, sedges, no tree, treeless vegetation. This is the major thing that has to struck your mind when you talk about starting point for biomes in which biodiversity are occurring. Clear now? Tamil padutha vendame? Okay. Students always bear in mind, whenever opportunities arise, try to develop your skill. Laboratory skill, field skill, data analysis skill, and communication skill. Both, whatever possible languages. English is a medium in which you get many of the research outputs, but second in the ranking would be German and French, third Spanish. I used to be comfortable with all four. In Madras University, the moment you enter Chepak campus, dictionaries is the first rack. Whenever you want to translate, you can always have it translated. Dutch, Spanish, French, German. Absolutely comfortable. So, now, we talked about biome. The rainfall quantity, you translate that to millimeter into 10 is millimeter. Clear? The production potential of the biomes can be equated to the rainfall they get. You follow Krishna? Krishna, your name? Mishra. So now the production ranges from least of 200 gram carbon per meter square per year in the coldest tundras and hottest deserts as well. But when it comes to high, 10 times more in the tropical rainforests, carbon fixed is stored in wood in forests and as sediments in the marine systems. Let's start off our plant journey from the coldest North Pole tundra. 0 degree Celsius is the mean annual temperature. 0 degree. Maximum it can reach is 10 degree Celsius only. What is, by the way, coldest temperature recorded so far?
Sir, coldest.
Minus 87. Minus 57 itself you get in the next biome. Think of this is why this is called permanently frozen soil with least working days. Plants have to complete their life cycle within that. They are tuned for that. Only herbaceous species, Arctic cotton in full bloom in the favorable season. In the South Pole, you don't have big formations of forests or grasslands, but you have cold ice covered and just a North Pole tundra is much species diverse, although they have no trees, but diversity of herbs and shrubs greater. South Pole, you have just 2 species of flowering plants. Hair grass Deschampsia antarctica and the pearlwort Colobanthus cutansis. Just 2 species. See, nature is very biased in distributing biomes and particularly biodiversity in it. But, that would be fine. Because my mobility is confined like an endemic species. Thank you. Yeah. So, I'll try to be simpler and faster as possible. I know that there will be an alarm call coming from here. வள்ளுவர் சொல்லியிருக்கலாம், வயிற்றுக்கும் சிறிது ஈயப்படும்னு. ப்ராக்டிக்கலா இருக்கலாமே. So, cold tundras again. I told nature is biased in distributing biodiversity, but no biome in planet Earth is poor in terms of biodiversity when it comes to totality. Is the algal biodiversity more? Some form of plants or other. ஒரு சிங்கிள் வேர்டில் சொல்லணும்னா பிளான்ட் அனிமல் சேர்ந்து உலகத்தில் இருக்க எல்லா உயிரிகளுக்கும் என்ன டேர்ம்? ஒரே ஒரு டேர்ம், life. Life, okay. Biologically, CSIR examல questions இப்படி தான் வரும். Biota includes all biological organisms. Biota, which is life. Sometimes inanimateக்கு தவறா சிலர் அகிரிணைக்கு உயர்தினை யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. So, you need to distinguish life, biota from other non-biological material. Biologicalக்கு materialன்ற word யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. Organisms. Now, you understand the nature of it. Production is low because of the coldness. 13/5/2013, when I was in Kashmir, Himalaya for research work, peak summer. Look at the condition. You need to equip. I think I have. Am I reaching you? Can you hear? Thank you. Am I audible? Okay. You need to wear gumboot and special coat. If you have a fear and problem, asthmatic, do not misventure. Life is not assured. So, you can trek and attention will be always given to the travelers. Avalanche, you would have been lively submerged. So, landslide, cold slide, ice covered. So, one has to be careful. This is a portion of Gulmarg area of Kashmir Himalayas with coniferous trees occurring in the cold soil, snow covered for several feet. In peak summer, imagine winter. That's why Srinagar road gets closed in winter. And it's quite difficult. One is the cold side of it. Second is, last month same time I was in the Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal, Badrinath route. Road so bad and rain adds to it, you had it. So one has to be careful in the Himalayan stretches. This is a portion of the Kashmir Himalayan coniferous forest with coniferous trees which are cone shaped. Why are conifers cone shaped? Unlike mango trees which are broad canopied, coniferous tree architecture is so structured to glide down conveniently the melting ice when temperature is optimal. Otherwise, a branch break will occur due to snow load. That is the nature of the coniferous forest systems. Tree diversity is too low, but in the favorable season, herb and shrub diversity is high.
Can these conifers be brought to the tropicals? Will they grow down?
Excellent question. 99% no. Only one we have here, the Christmas tree, which is from the, not from coniferous forest, but from the temperate Australia, New South Wales.
From there it came, performs very well even in hot sun. Pine, spruce, fir, no, they cannot. It brings to another biogeographically important question that I will draw your attention at a later context when you talk about global distribution of biodiversity as a continental level difference. Some can, all cannot. What can, what cannot, only by trial and error we can make out. அது கொண்டு வந்து வச்சு பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும். Otherwise we don't know. So this is the nature of coniferous forest systems, and hence these are called monotonous forests. Same species. Bore அடிக்கும். எவ்வளவு போர் அடிக்கும், இவ்வளவு போர் அடிக்கும், எல்லாம் ஒரே ஸ்பீஷிஸ். இந்த மாதிரி ஏரியா டிராபிக்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 1 hectare பிளாட்ல யூ வில் சி மினிமம் 27 இருந்து மேக்ஸிமம் 300 ஸ்பீஷிஸ் இன் 1 hectare. 1 hectare is how much area? Misha, others. 1 hectare. This is the panoramic view of coniferous forest in the Kashmir Himalayan region on Sindh river bank, ice chill water. 1 hectare is how much area? Hey, 10th standard mathematics. Be equally good in maths and computer science if you want to be successful in life science. Yes, we use machine learning tools as well as AI. It's not enough. Botany should go beyond botany too to understand better botany in years to come. And you need to market yourself. Same Parthasarathy marketed himself when as a scholar in Madras University. 80-82 when I was a research scholar, 82 to 87 when I was research, and 80-82 MSc, 82 to 87 PhD, and even now frontier papers in lead journals. It's not the same old 80-82 you can talk about. You need to upgrade. அதே ஹட்லையும் நோ எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி ஸ்டேஜில் இருக்கோமா இன்னும்? எஸ், என்னோட ரிசர்ச் சைட்டு இன்னமும் அப்படி தான் இருக்கு. அகஸ்தியமலை ஃபாரஸ்ட், களக்காடு மட்டந்தரை டைகர் ரிசர்வ், நோ எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி. Petromax lamp, with that we used to work till 2 a.m. That's the research that you will see. So this is a view of the coniferous forests, the tree community and the herbaceous community. Trees low diversity and herbaceous diversity is so high. A portion of the forest interior, diversity only low, density of trees is not low. That means the carbon stocking, in terms of carbon stock, they contribute as good as the tropical forests. Is it clear? So, like a plantation it looks, but look at the low diversity, 1 to 3 species in a hectare. My question remains unanswered. 1 hectare is 10,000 meters square. In that much area, you get just 1 tree species to 3 species only. It's 10 to 100 fold in tropics. That's why tropical deforestation nadadana avlo species 10 to 100 fold of it, 100 to 300 species lose pandro. That is why high cry for tropical deforestation. Temperate பத்தி கவலைப்படக்கூடாதுன்னு இல்லை. Herb diversity is as high as tropical forests, but seasonal. Kadugu, hey, you guys, any of you heard my lecture earlier? Any of you during your +1? I used to deliver all over South India DST Inspire lecture to +1 people, 200 people in one batch. No? None of you? Okay. Cold, cough, fever and breathing problem. All country medicine shop, if you go anywhere in the world, including Chennai, there is a small root drug called Kadugu Rohini in Tamil. They were enjoying movie. So Is that fine? Is the clarity better or some more lights off would be appreciated? I can still see you all but. Okay. And the rendu light off pannalaman parunga. Koncham innum better visibility. Okay. Fine, I think. This is Kadugu Rohini. Now better? Yes. Better for what? So, there is a root drug called Kadugu Rohini in Tamil, which is anti-HIV, anti-AIDS and for cold, cough and fever. Root drug. Marketed, it is an endemic species. This is an endemic species that occurs in the Kashmir Himalayan grasslands. Gentiana kurru is the botanical name. One of our scholars worked for his PhD. This root is available in our markets, even in Mylapore, your Dabachatti street, Dabachatti shop. Wherever you go, you get it. 1,000 times better than neem. So bitter. So bitter, but the moment you take a small glass of 100 ml of its decoction, you sweat so much, headache, fever gone. So effective, you sweat so much. This is the speciality of some of the herbal drugs. This is an endemic species, steno-endemic, means endemic species that occur in local area. In Tamil Nadu alone, you have 273 endemic species that occur locally. I will talk about it later. This is the Gentiana kurru, Gentianaceae, and grows in Kashmir Himalayan. Root is the important medicinally valued part. Coming to the tropical world, across the tropics or globally, you have a total biodiversity rich areas are called biodiversity hotspots. Hotspots are recognized based on 3 criteria: high diversity, rich in endemic species, and experiencing levels of disturbance. There was a committee constituted in 1975, recognized first 18 areas, later 25, 32, 35, 36 now. 36th is the Gabonian forest, the West African forest, Guinea-Gabon. Now, these areas, described species 1.5 million, undescribed 0.5 to 50 million. When do we describe? We have been studying taxonomy of plant and animal and microbial systems over the last 100 plus years. But look at the undescribed. They do occur. Where do they occur? Listeners, take the message that there are still areas in the globe which remain unexplored, underexplored, some of them unreachable. Good in a way, biodiversity is safe there. So, bulk of these biodiversity hotspots are facing problem.
These are only on the land, right? We are not going to the sea floor.
This is only on land when we talk about. Equally bad is sea floor. At the end we are covering that also. 90% of their intact habitat is disturbed, modified for various purposes. Rainforests in the tropics is the world leader of biodiversity. Many of the species are important bioresources. We use them for various purposes of timber, fuel wood. Most of the products that we eat, they are all basically from the wild domesticated animals, cultivated plants. Originally their stock is from wild. We also, at times we prove that. Most of the recently described species are nocturnal night habit, small in size, like the Madagascar lizard and the lungless frog from Kerala. Small ones, night time, we would not have visited. Equally, like in marine systems also, after 200 years, one small seagrass we have described from South Indian coast. I'll talk about it later. We talk about generally rainforest, tropical rainforest. Within the rainforest, there are three categories. Lowland, below 750 meter. Lower mountain, up to 1500. Upper mountain, 1500 and above, like you have in the Nilgiri, Palni, Anamudi hilltops. Short grasslands in the temperate cold environment, but occur in tropics due to high altitude. Altitude compensates for latitude. Am I confusing? Clear? That effect you get, that's why people go to Ooty, Kodaikanal. So, upper mountain, for these are called Shola forests in the mountainous folds, adapted for the condition. Agastya Malai forest, Anamalai lowland, 660 meter. Agastya Malai, lower mountain, upper mountain for us. And look at the variation in tree tallness. Very short, medium, tall. Many features also vary accordingly. I cut short. Within the tropics, with the increasing quantum of rainfall, you have the tree tallness increasing. Least quantity, sparse vegetation, medium quantity, moderate quantity, okay? Not very high but not very low deciduous forest with summer leaflessness. Understory is leafy. When it comes to rainforests, rainforests are the heroes of biomes. Like an apartment, multi-strata are layered, tallest emergence, 65 meter to even 85 meter tall. By the way, what is the tallest tree in the world recorded so far? Sequoia gigantea is commonly told but taller than, this is a 115 meter tall. Eucalyptus regnans Victoria, Australia. 115 meter tall tree. படுத்துட்டு தான் பார்க்கணும். So, அவ்வளோ இதுக்கு physiologyல படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. Ascent of sap, various hypotheses. Water has to be pumped from. So, look at the conditions. These have to have photobiological adaptation to cope up with the light they receive. Tallest ones, full light. Bottommost one, dim light. And there is something in ecology called plant functional traits. In the functional traits, easily within college campus flora la pannala. You don't need big analysis for that. I'll talk about it a bit later. So, by the way, I plan to contribute soft copy for the first time of my Flora of Pondicherry University book to Vivekananda College. Most of the college campus species you can identify. So, with that, 548 species. So, cultivated and wild as well. So, now, coming to the tropical rainforest stratification, tallest emergence, flat canopied to cope up with the high wind velocity. எப்போது டாப்புக்கு போயிருந்தீங்கன்னா தெரியும். We had the facility 30 meter வரைக்கும் canopy reach ஆகிறதுக்கு single legged pipe ladder. அங்க இருக்கிற ambience வேற. The noise you hear is totally different. So, that's a kind of system. Flat canopied tree to cope up with the high light condition. Leaves are small, rough and tough. High exposed, full exposure of sunlight. Wind dispersed seed. No animals can reach there to disperse. Wind dispersed, bee pollinated. Upper story, middle story, lower story, understory, forest floor flora. A, B, C, D, E layers of rainforests which have photobiological adaptation to full light, medium light, moderate light, low light, very low light. Leaves are opposite features here, thin, membranous, so flimsy, so colorful. You need to have an eye to enjoy the botanical world. You need to have an eye for it. You need to have an ear for it. You need to have a nose for it. Some species with smell you can better identify. Some specific sound, Crotalaria pod with seed, Gilugulupai chedi. Some with respect to the moment you see, I'll talk about these later. Now stratification is clear, these have photobiological adaptation accordingly. This grows like, here it grows like tall gingers and turmeric in Asia and marantas in tropical America. You have counterpart. Sila families inge represent agum, sila families anga represent agum. Angana enge? Tropical American. Americana எப்பவுமே வாஷிங்டன் நியூயார்க்ல மட்டும் இருக்காதீங்க. What I talk about in tropics is Central and South America. அமெரிக்கால என்ன இருக்கு? எல்லாம் இங்க இருந்தா அங்க போகுது. Clear now? And tropical rainforests are rich in biodiversity, stratified forest, and look at the kind of epiphytes that grow. The lianas are the woody climber, and the herbaceous epiphytes which have leaves as big and large as banana leaf. Soundarya nursery in Nandanathil irundhathu. Adu ipo Solinganallur poiduchu. Political problem. We often used to visit that nursery to see various rainforest plants. Lifetime la oru plant vaanginadilla. Botanistic illada right enna?
Everything belongs to you.
Yes. My second batch MSc student from Andamans, யார் வீட்டுக்கும் கதவு திறந்துடல இல்லை தட்டியோ தானே உள்ளே போயிட்டு பிளான்ட் எடுத்துட்டு வந்துடும். அவங்க கேட்டாங்கன்னா, no, we are students of plant ecology, we have a right to study. So,
That is not really hobby.
this forest stratification, I repeat, this forest stratification in the apartments, faunal community make use of day and night. See the plant animal linkages. Biodiversity என்றது word just number game கிடையாது. Plant, animal, soil, water interact பண்ணாதான் biodiversity. Clear now? In the understanding, evolved advanced ecologists கூட வராது. ஏன்னா அந்த டுகெதர்னஸ்னு படிக்கிறது பாட்னி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட். செப்பரேட் ஜுவாலஜி இப்படி இருக்கும்.
எங்களுக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்
சார் ஐஏஎஸ்சி எப்படி இருக்கும்னு எனக்கு தெரியும். பட் ஐ எம் அன் ஆஃபன் விசிட்டர் டு ஐஏஎஸ்சி. லைப்ரரி ஐஏஎஸ்சியில், ஐஐடியில், டேராடூன் WII சொர்க்கம். எங்களுக்காக எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டைம் ஓப்பன் பண்ணுவாங்க நாங்கள் ட்ரெயினியாக போகும்பொழுது. நான் எதுக்கு சொல்லுவேன்னா, அந்த ஸ்கில் டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கணும்னு சொல்லியிருந்தேன். எப்போ ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கிடைக்குதோ, நான் மெட்ராஸ் யூனிவர்சிட்டி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் PhDக்கு, ஐஐடி மெட்ராஸோட கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பார்ட் டைம், இங்கிலீஷ் அண்ட் ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜஸ் யூனிவர்சிட்டி ஹைதராபாடுக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட், இங்கிலீஷ் லாங்குவேஜ் அண்ட் லிட்டரேச்சர் ட்ரைனிங். ஸோ எங்கெங்கே மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் ட்ரைனிங் IIFM போபால். So opportunity வரும்பொழுது you need to train yourself. You need an exposure. So skill development. So nature teaches us a lot. We understand little on an installment basis. This lifetime is insufficient for that. That's the extent to which nature is. Realized? So அந்த ஒயிட் சாக்கு கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக கிரீன் ஆகுதா? ஸோ டே நைட் அண்ட் நைட் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் பயோட்டா மேக் யூஸ் ஆஃப் இட். தீஸ் ஃபெல்லோஸ் அவங்க சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி அப் இல்லை, அப் கீழே வரமாட்டாங்க. அவங்க லைஃப் அப்படியே போயிடும். தே கெட் தேர் ஸ்பேஸ், ரிசோர்சஸ், எவ்ரி திங். Topfellows. And look at that, a portion of the interior forest, Ecology 1, first plot we established in 1989 in Agasthyamala forest, wherein from Madras University I did my PhD. My MSc student later followed up for large scale ecology. First plot, look at the forest interior, so nice, so undisturbed. I'll tell you, Anamalai, particularly Agasthyamala forests in India, either madri biopotential voluminous trees ulla species and forest type very rare. The wild mango, once in 5-year blooming. The wild pepper that grows on it, natural wild stock of mango germplasm, pepper germplasm. I cut short the details. Biome diversity you have seen, life form diversity. The trees, the lianas are the climbers which follow anti-clockwise twining by and large. The stragglers that grow on other trees, the tall herbs and shrubs, epiphytes occur on the bark of trees and trunk and branch. Epiphyll, algae and lichens and filmiferns. Filmiform என்ன family? நான் 82 தான் படித்தேன், 79 to 82 தான் படித்தேன், அதுக்கு பிறகு அதை படிக்கல. Doesn't matter, பயோன்ற வேர்டு இருந்தால் கேள்வி கேட்பேன். Hymenophyllaceae, thin filmiferns. Liverworts group, Pallavicenia, Fossambronia, Seawardiella. First MSc, Bryophytes, Pallavicenia, Fossambronia, Seawardiella. These are thin-leaved bryophyte, leafy bryophytes that occur in the rainforest areas. And those thin ஒரு green cellophane paper மாதிரி இருக்கும். அவ்வளவு humid forest, ever AC climateல இருக்கக்கூடியது. அந்த forestல on single leaf 148 different species of lichens and filmiferns in Amazon they found and published the paper in the journal Biodiversity Conservation. I'll give a few issues of the journal also for them to have a look. ஒரு journalனா இப்படி இருக்கும்னு பார்க்கட்டும். So, epiphyls fix nitrogen, the algal partner that is utilized by the host plant. Algae, lichen, filmiferns is a subject entering? Yes. Semi-parasites that grow on other trees, but they can photosynthesize water and nutrients from the tree. Total parasite, this is a whole plant, no leaf, no stem, only root and the straight inflorescence like a ball, female plant. Balanophora, saprophyte that grows on the dead and decomposing material. This is an orchid. Aphylarchis montana, Agasthyamala Anamalai forest. Mushroom madri irukkum. He, she. Male plant, female plant of Balanophora fungosa, Balanophoraceae. Total parasite that occurs on the wild jackfruit tree root, and also grapevine, drakshai. Wild grapevine family member ku parasite irukkum, root parasite. Clear? Male, female, Balanophora fungosa, fungus மாதிரி இருக்கிறதால fungosa. இது என்ன? Xylotum, Xylotum nudum, actually epiphyte but can be grown temporarily as a pot plant. Xylotum nudum, the pteridophyte. Stem is triquetrus. Synangium is tripartite. Anyway, இந்த நேம் உங்களுக்கு ஃபெமிலியர் இருக்காதனால நேம் இருக்கலாம், மறைக்கல. என்னது ஜீனஸ் நேம் சொல்லுங்க? Lycopodium phlegmaria, present name Phlegmaria phlegmarioides. Epiphytic in nature, அது கீழே விழுந்துடும். Sometimes high wind velocity, so Lycopodium, stellar evolution, Lycopodium, various stellar type, so plectostyle. Pepper family, Peperomia, epiphyte. These are all epiphytes. That's why they are mounted in the herbarium sheet. Marthalan Tongra Madri. Ipdi illa. Understand? Name illa. Sollunga. Selaginella. Very good. Common name? Common name? Club moss. Small club moss. Like Selaginella. Okay. Heterostyly. Heterospory. Cycas urcinalis. In deciduous forests of southern India, male, female separate. Male cone is cut, dried, powdered, and used in Siddha and Ayurveda medicine to increase sperm count in males. Siddha medicine, Madana Kamapu or Kama Madanapu, sold in markets along with other ingredients of Tirigadagam, everything, ghee, honey, etc. Cycads are slow growing species, palm like slow growing cycad species. Male cone, after dispersing the pollen, when cut, no issue. But before that, when cut, cycads are slow growing rare species. This knowledge to be imparted to resource collectors. Clear? That's what practical conservation is. Biodiversity inventory is quantitatively ecological inventory. Two kinds. Qualitatively taxonomic survey, quantitatively ecological inventory. Not only kind of species, but number of stems based on sample plots. Small plot, large plot. Large plots have greater advantage. I started with small while I was in Madras University. Then we entered into medium, MSc project, large scale ecology in advanced PhD programs. Large scale projects, in addition, some of them we keep as LTER, long term ecological research plots to inventory biodiversity and monitor the forest plot for tree growth, recruitment, mortality over a period of time. Along with that, forest plant phenology, animal associations, lot more. Change in carbon stock with climate change. Standard methodology followed. What is more important is ultimately we did not keep ourselves with the data that we have generated over the last 35 years. We contributed to global synthesis. After the idea of mine, we worked for a week in University of California. Then we all pooled our global climber community data. GLD was born. Global Liana database. Anybody can work on. Entire global data with respect to region, which species, when inventoried, all the details you get. Similarly, last year after our fourth paper in PNAS and Nature, we released global tree database. Global tree database. Some of the secondary analysis is still possible. You need to only acknowledge, no need to give authorship. So GLD, GTD, if you type out, you get the details. How much is the difference in global diversity? After pooling our data, then only global synthesis is possible. Illanna namma research nammaloda pedum. Global pattern kedakkadu. So here you have tropical forest, tree diversity alone. Tropical average, temperate average, coniferous forest, that low. At the 1 hectare scale again, when specific high diversity is to be projected, at the 1 hectare scale, Amazon, tropical America, most. Next, third, fourth, half of the Western Ghats is Eastern Ghats, East Coast forest. Visakhapatnam to Kodiyakkarai, Point Calimio, East Coast tropical dry evergreen forest. Central Indian district of Vindhyan Hills, 4 to 15, it's a deciduous forest, all others are evergreen. I told about epiphyllous diversity too. Maintenance of diversity is challenging and more important than once this number exists telling. It needs to be maintained. Whole of the tropical, our data of 35 years, we pooled. Similarly, other diversity researchers pooled to address a question. In the whole of the tropics, what is the tree diversity? PNAS paper, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, USA, 40 to 53,000 is the estimate. Next effort, second PNAS paper. In the whole of the planet Earth, how many tree species we have? 73,000. This is estimate. Actual number is 58,915. In the whole of the globe, planet Earth has actual number 58,915 tree species, and the estimate is 73,000 species. இதுக்கு இத்தனை வருஷம் ஆச்சு நமக்கு இந்த ஒரு question ஆன்சர் பண்ண. It takes time. மற்ற லைஃப் ஃபார்ம்க்கு இதுவரை வரல. In the 73,000 species, if you put it by percentage, across the 5 continents, if you analyze, 73,000 estimated total. Common to all continents, just 0.1% the common. Look at the level of endemism. South America mattum about 50% endemic. There only they occur. Biotechnology, following?
Yes.
Good. Africa, Eurasia, Asia, Europe, சேர்ந்தது. Only 0.5% is common to continents of the 73,000 species. அது என்ன? Cultivated. Mango, tulip tree, Spathodia, இதெல்லாம் தான். So, North America, Oceania. அதனால்தான் regional level endemic species more, regional level conservation is emphasized. This is our third paper in Nature. Native diversity buffers against the severity of non-native tree invasion. Native full occupy பண்ணா invasionக்கு இடம் எங்க இருக்கு? ஏற்கனவே tropicsல everything packed like anything. ஒரு leafல 148 lichen species packed. ஒரு hectareல up to 300 species packed. இதுல invasion எப்படி வர முடியும்? இடம் கொடுத்தா தானே வரும். நம்ம degrade பண்ணோம்னா where native diversity is protected, invasions do not find space. Clear? This is the message from our third paper in Nature. Nature is the topmost journal in the world with impact factor of 48, now 50. Across the world, permanent research plots, LTER plots. CTFS Washington is coordinating them. By now, world 71 forest plots across the world. இதுல மட்டும் இல்லை. I have no answer. But we were to meet in Australia. COVID-நால அந்த meeting put off. Plotே இல்லாத ஏரியால they plotted for a meeting. I don't know why. Anyway, இதுவரைக்கும் வேர்ல்டுல 71 forest plots spanning 27 countries, tagging 7 million trees under 12,000 species. யாருக்காவது 3ல இருந்து 6 மாசம் ஒரு வருஷம் young faculty or research scholars CTFS any of the sites visit பண்ணணும்னு நினைச்சா log on to CTFS, to and fro airfare, livelihood, everything will be given. You can learn and try to come back and replicate here. So trainings are also given. World's first LTER plot, 1975 established in Barra Colorado Island, Panama. First LTER plot of the world. Every facility, botany, zoology, molecular biology, immunology, genetics, animal science to culture. எல்லாத்துக்கும் BCI Panama, secondary forest. 2 hectare plot, Singapore. 50 hectare plot, 50 hectare normal size. Chinna plot, Singapore, Chinese researchers. This is the tree tag. Girth is measured. In 2016, they pooled the data. of all permanent plots and found that tree death rate is increasing due to various environmental change, including atmospheric chemistry. CO2 level increased by 16% in BCA Panama plot. Temperature warmed up just by 0.6 degrees Celsius. The site experienced 30% change in precipitation and deforestation is happening. This is the pooled information from the CTFS plot data. Pondicherry University, my goal was from small scale to medium scale to large scale. Ecology was my lifetime goal. I could achieve in the last 37 years what I wanted to. And thanks to the every setup that we had. And we need to, in India, it's a great struggle. Not like your secretary, you have everywhere administrators. They never turn up to the building, edited. India's first large-scale evergreen forest plot, 30 hectare, Anamalais. Top slip, Pollachi to Parambiculam route, top slip, 23 kilometers, pre-British period laid road. We reached the place, Varagalayar, Anamalais, 30 hectare plot. The publication that came out of it from the scholar who is now scientist in the French Institute of Pondicherry, in the journal Biodiversity Conservation from Netherlands. In Collie Hills we have in 4 forest sites, permanent plots. One of this institution, MSc, HOD of Botany, Presidency, Chitti Babu, my PhD scholar, worked on this plot. Large scale ecology, DBT funded program in the Eastern Ghats, in the 220-year-old journal Flora from Germany, now from Amsterdam. One of the large scale ecology study. This was a commitment and invited project given to us. See, பழுத்த பலாப்பழம் வெட்டி வச்சீங்கன்னா ஈக்களுக்கு இன்விடேஷன் தேவையில்லை. கரெக்ட்? அதுக்கு மெசேஜ் போட வேண்டாம், வந்து உட்காருன்னு. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரிஜினாலிட்டி பொட்டென்ஷியல் இருந்தா அதுவே வரும். வேண்டாம்னு சொன்னா கூட கேட்கல. தட் ப்ராஜெக்ட் வாஸ் நோ சார், யூ ஹாவ் டு டேக் இட். We have taken 2006 to 2010. This scholar, he is now associate professor in Parthasarathy University, Coimbatore, and this is the largest scale ever in Indian context. Learning a plant, இவ்வளவு ஸ்பீஷீஸ் டைவர்சிட்டி பற்றி பேசணும். டைவர்சிட்டி ரூட் டெக்ஸானமியில் இருக்கு. And with minimal tools you can identify species. ஒரு ஸ்பீஷீஸை ஸ்பீஷீஸ் ஆங்கிள் இருந்து பார்க்காம முதல்ல ஃபேமிலி ஆங்கிள், fortunately both belong to the same family. ஃபேமிலி லெவல் ட்ரெயின் பண்ணிங்கன்னா வேர்ல்டில் எந்த ஏரியாவில் இந்த ஸ்பீஷீஸ் இருந்தாலும் அந்த லோக்கல் ஃப்ளோரா யூஸ் பண்ணி யூ கேன் ஐடென்டிஃபை த ஸ்பீஷீஸ். ஸ்கில் அப்படி டெவலப் பண்ணோம். இக்ஸோரா காக்சினியா விவேகானந்தா காலேஜ் கேம்பஸ்ன்னு இருந்தால் இதை தவிர கடிவாளம் கட்டின குதிரை மாதிரி மூவ் ஆகாது. The training should be different. Aim at the family level and in the ஸ்பீஷீஸ்ல இருந்து அதனுடைய ரிசோர்ஸ் வேல்யூல இருந்து கன்சர்வேஷன் எஃபர்ட்ல இருந்து அப்பதான் கொண்டு போக முடியும். Learning a family, species ID, family level, 5 features. If you remember, enough. Rubiaceae, coffee family, just 5 features. All life forms you have. Tree, shrubs, climbers and herbs. Simple opposite decussate leaves, interpetiolar stipule. Polycacial cyme inflorescence, K, C and A 4 to 5. Clear? Calyx, corolla, androecium 4 to 5. Gynoecium 2. Syncarpus, epigynous. Fruit, capsule, berry or drupe, family over. இந்த ஃபீச்சரை வச்சு அதை இக்ஸோரால பாருங்க. அதன் மூலம் இக்ஸோரா காக்சினியா, இக்ஸோரா ஃபின்லேசோனியானா வாட் எவர் This is how you need to approach a family. Family example பெரிய பிட் எடுத்து போக வேண்டாம். ஒரு ஃபேமிலிக்கு 2 லைன்ல பிட் போதும், பண்ணாதீங்க. Family, Ruby AC. Size of the family 630 genera, 10,200 species. Distribution cosmopolitan. Habit tree, shrub, climber, herbs. Leaves simple opposite cassette, interpedial stipule. Polycacial cyme inflorescence. Flowers bisexual epigynous. KCA 4 to 5. Gamo. United. G2 fruit capsular berry. Family over. Taxonomy teach பண்றதுக்கு நிறைய டீச்சர்ஸுக்கு ஃபியர் அதிகம். நான் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் பற்றி பேச மாட்டேன். ஏன்னு கேட்காதீங்க. ஸோ எபிபெட்டலாஸ் அதில் எபிகைனே ஆட் பண்ணலாம். கிளியர் நவ்? இவ்வளோ சிம்பிளாக மேக்ஸும் டெக்ஸானமியும் டீச் பண்ணுற டீச்சரை பொறுத்து தான். இல்லைன்னா அந்த சப்ஜெக்டை கண்டு பயந்து ஓடுவீங்க. அப்போ ஓட்டம் பிடிச்சிங்கன்னா ரிட்டையர் ஆகிற வரைக்கும், ரிட்டையர் ஆன பிறகும் அப்படியே இருக்கும். இப்போ பிடிச்சிங்கன்னா ஐ யூஸ் டு டெல், என்னோட ஆஷ் கூட இதை பற்றி தான் பேசும். ஸோ அதுதான் லெவல் ஆஃப் இட்ஸ் அ குவெஸ்சன் ஆஃப் யுவர் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். கரெக்டா வச்சுட்டாங்க. ஸோ ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் பற்றி பேச மாட்டேன், ஃபேக்கல்டி பற்றி இப்போ பேச வேண்டாமே. தே நோ வி ஆர் டாக்கிங் அபவுட் டைவர்சிட்டி. ஸோ இதை ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு பேசோ மலேசியா ஃபாரஸ்ட், இது இக்ஸோரா மாதிரி தெரியுதா இல்லையா? இக்ஸோரா கன்ஜஸ்டா 50 ஹெக்டர் பிளாட், லாம் பேசோ மலேசியா. Now, இதே ரூபி ஏசி அகஸ்தியமலை இன்டீரியர் ஃபாரஸ்ட்ல simple opposite decayed leaf but condensed herb. Look at the nature of the leaf, very thick. 31/1984 my collection while I was a PhD scholar in Madras University. So அதே feature, simple opposite decayed, K4 to 5, K5 here. This is how you can reach, but this is an endemic species. Endemic only to few forest of அகஸ்தியமலை. அந்த மாதிரி 30 ஸ்பீஷீஸ் இருக்கு. அகஸ்தியமலை தவிர வேற எங்கேயும் வேர்ல்டுல இல்லை. அங்கேயும் 1 or 2 ஃபாரஸ்ட்ல தான் இருக்கும், அட்ஜசன்ட்ல கூட இருக்காது. இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதால தான் அந்த எண்டமிசம் கான்டினென்டல் லெவல்ல ஸ்பீஷீஸ் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன் பார்த்தீங்கல்ல, அங்க இருக்கிறது அங்கே தான் இருக்கும், வேற இடங்கள்ல இல்லை. அதனால தான் அந்தந்த ஏரியாஸ்ல கன்சர்வேஷன் பண்ணணும். மேபர்லி புக் யூ ஹேவ்? மேபர்லிஸ் பிளான்ட் புக். வேர்ல்டில் இருக்கிற அத்தனை ஜெனரா அண்ட் ஃபேமிலிக்கு ஒரே புக். ஐ வில் கிவ் யூ த சாஃப்ட் வெர்ஷன். இப்போவே செல்ஃபோனில் இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அந்த இதை அப்படியே அவங்க நான் கொடுத்துட்டு அப்புறம் போகிறேன். ஸோ மேபர்லிஸ் பிளான்ட் புக். இந்த புக்கோட விலை 4000 rupees. நானும் எம்சிசியில் டாக்டர் நரசிம்மனும் கேம்பிரிட்ஜ் யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு இந்தியன் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணுற அளவுக்கு போடுங்க. சரி, எவ்வளோ போடணும்? 400. டன். That is how students benefit when teachers take the effort. This I will give a soft copy. So, entire world la irukra ella genera and family described. Species siladu mention pannirpaanga. The Maberlis plant book. Seed plants. Yeah, gymnosperms irukkum. Not algae and fungi and all. Clear? So I can give you a soft copy in the Lerco. So என்னது? என்ன form of fossilization? Petrification or petrifaction. Pondicherry University எங்க நாங்களாம் இந்த மேலேயே நடந்து போவோம். Pondicherry to Tiruvakkarai route la plenty of fossils, Mesembryo xylon, petrified tree fossil. Pele Botany Institute, Lucknow, is meant for paleobotanical study, and here is and we have National Fossil park in Tiruvakkarai, Pondicherry to Viluppuram route. கொட்டி கிடக்கும். இப்போ சின்ன ஏரியாவை ஃபென்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. நீங்கள் பக்கத்தில் இருந்து எடுத்துக்கலாம்.
அது எந்த எடிஷன் புக் சார்? நெவர்லி பிளான் புக்
2007 I think. 7 second edition. So I'll today itself pass on the soft copy, but better to have one hard copy. So sir found it.
third edition.
Third, okay.
Third edition has come.
எந்த இயர் போட்டிருக்காங்க பாருங்க.
I'll tell you.
Maybe the same. Third edition picture பாருங்க. Yes, different picture. Now the third edition. இதுதான் அட்வான்ஸ்மெண்ட். நம்ம பேசிட்டு இருக்கக்குள்ளவே அடுத்தது போயிடும். ஆனா நம்ம இன்னும் 50 வருஷம் பின்னாலே இருக்கும். நிறைய இதுல கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா வளருவோம். ஆமை மாதிரி நகருவோம். ஆமை ரொம்ப நாள் வாழும். Faster the growth, sooner the death. அதனால 3 வருஷம் டிகிரி ப்ரோக்ராமை இழுக்காதீங்க. That is not the way they want to increase the strength. Beyond botany, we use AI tool, artificial intelligence and machine learning tools we use for putting it into various parameters and analyze habitat distribution modeling for which are the areas suitable for the endemic species in Karnataka forests. I don't go to the details because this is too early stage, but the point that I want to stress here is do not remain as Rose Macaulay's fly. English poetry la Rose Macaulay's fly படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா? What else the new year brings? It brings nothing new, like a fly sitting on one spot of the wheel thinking that it has traveled several kilometers of distance. Wheel moved, not the fly. Got the message? Biotech. Mishra. These are the methodology we follow to finally arrive at which are the habitat in the forest suitable for the endemic species to grow. Lot of input, machine learning tool. We can also classify vegetation, methodology, and final map of 13 land use land cover criteria. And here is the 13 vegetation type. The paper is communicated to Science of the Total Environment, Elsevier. Biome, biodiversity, bit familiar, complex interactions of plants and animals. Leaves are eaten by folivores. Adults, pollinators like butterflies and moths. Species propagated through dispersal by agents, wind, air, water, etc. Animal. This needs to be in a holistic manner understood. Nutrient cycling when decomposition goes on. Tropical rainforest பிரமாதமா நினைக்காதீங்க. Plant remove பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா அது nothing. It's not the soil that is fertile. Plants தன்னுள்ள அடக்கி வச்சுக்குது எல்லாமே. They don't want to take a chance. சாயில ரொம்ப மதிக்கிறது இல்லை. அதுல இருந்தா வருது, அது வேற விஷயம். They don't want to take a chance. Everything is, nutrients are held up in biomass. 110 species of East Coast, ஒரு PhD ஸ்காலருக்கு ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்பீஷீஸையும் எந்தெந்த அனிமல் ஃபீட் பண்ணுது, அது ஃபீட் பண்ணும்பொழுது லார்வாவை ரியர் பண்ணி லேப்ல அடல்ட் எமர்ஜ் ஆகிற வரைக்கும் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணி ரிலீஸ் பண்ணிடுவோம். The larva, the adult, larva, the adult. This is how we study plant-animal interactions. பையன் ரொம்ப லேசி. பையனை பற்றி பேச மாட்டேன்னு சில நேரம் பேசி தானே ஆகணும். புஷ் பண்ணி அனுப்பணும். ஃபைனலி ஏதோ முடிச்சான். லெக்சரர் இன் பால்காட் காலேஜ் நவ், ஜுவாலஜி. பேஷண்ட்டாக 2 மணி நேரம் உட்காந்துட்டே இருந்தோம் ஒரு ரெய்னி சீசன் நைட்டில். Whole leaf converted to a lace by this fellow, larva of a moth. World level 100 teams, ஒவ்வொரு டீம்ஸும் 5 plants எடுத்து கோவிட்க்கு முன்னால டிஃபரண்ட் பாப்புலேஷன்ஸில் rate of leaf eating by the insect study பண்ணி data global level pool பண்ணி scienceல 38 வருஷ பாண்டிச்சேரி யூனிவர்சிட்டி ஹிஸ்டரியில் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேப்பர் இன் சயின்ஸ். The credit goes to not me but by the team and the students who worked on it. அதனுடைய மெசேஜ் என்னன்னா, habit of the plant, that's called plant size, herb, shrub or tree, latitude in the globe, it's a global world can work together, scientific community ன்றத ப்ரூஃப் பண்றோம் இதன் மூலம். இந்தியால 3 டீம்ஸ், பாண்டிச்சேரி யூனிவர்சிட்டி, பெங்களூர், Punjab. So this is the first paper in science, plant size, latitude and phylogeny explained the population variation in the rates of leaf eating or herbivory. இந்த மாதிரியான ஒர்க் எல்லாம் ஐ எம் ரிப்பீட்டிங் திஸ், கேம்பஸ்லேயே பண்ண முடியும். ஆனால் பிளான்ட் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷன் ப்ளஸ் அனிமல் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷன் கொஞ்சம் ஜுவாலஜி டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டை இப்படி திரும்பி இருந்தாலும் டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணலாம் ஹெசிடேஷன் இல்லாமல். Close-up of plant name, animal name. Larva, adult. Larva, its adult. Pollination, leaf eating over, pollination through insects. Fruits are formed, they are to be moved. Plant seed நடந்து போகாது. Plants are immobile. They need agents and fruits are ready. 10 species of Rudraksh in India. One such wild Rudraksh, Elaeocarpus serratus, dispersed by emerald dove, Pachaipura, intact seed, they eat the pulp, seed spit out. They don't consume the seed, illana the pregnant pura vaidum. Flightless kiwi aidum, pura parakadu. So this is how dispersal is effected. Adu generalist disperser. எல்லாம் நிறைய சாப்பிடும். சில ஸ்பீஷீஸ் ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட்ஸ். ஜாதிக்காய் ஃபெமிலியர், நட்மெக் ஜாதிக்காய் பிரியாணி, நட்மெக் ஜாதிக்காய் ஜைஃபல். How many can't understand Tamil? All can? I see. Because we never teach in Tamil. There is no requirement. Ours is all India intake, no? Only English. Okay. Members of the jaiphal or nutmeg family, 490 species. When you slash the bark, they bleed. This is a field recognition feature of the entire family Myristicaceae. அது ஏஷியால இருக்கு, ஆப்பிரிக்கால இருக்கு, ட்ராபிக்கல் அமெரிக்காலயும் இருக்கு. Family same, genera different, species totally different across the 3 continents. Clear? Asia hornbill dispersed, America toucan dispersed. Same Myristicaceae member, family, genera different, species different. The Asian, the African, the tropical American. Toucans there, hornbills in Asia and Africa. Sunbirds here, hummingbirds there for pollination. Very clear? These are called ecological equivalents. Same family, same feature, functionally similar, species wise different. Okay? One in the paleotropics, the other in the neotropics. Neotropics is American tropic. Paleo is Asia Oceanian. Seed dispersal by, please. Seed dispersal by mammals and giant squirrel. Neatum, gymnosperm, fruits are eaten and dispersed by the sloth bear in Annamalai, in Western Ghats. Neatum familiar? Needles இருக்கும், நாம் அதில் போனால் சர்ஜரி பண்ணிடும். Look at the stomach nature of that. Forest savannas, production almost same, stored and stocked in wood, goes as food. Clear? Ton, 2 idli 1 vada breakfast illa, tons of grass biomass to sustain large herbivore populations in tropical tall grasslands of the world. Ecological niche partitioning, grazing grasses, browsing tree leaves. Clear? Yes? Nammala madri. Australian koalas preferentially feed on the eucalyptus leaf. They have the digestibility. In savannas there. East Coast Forest, tropical dry evergreen forest, 20 kilometers from Pondicherry University on the Chennai Pondi ECR. We have been studying that forest for more than 30 years. Permanent plot, tree tag, important species, geotagged, Google image, 2 sites, 92, first inventory, 10 years later, before COVID. This is the situation. The climbers also in the same plots. Look at the changes in 28 years. In the 28-year time frame, from this much stem density, we lost more than half of it. This is I talked about tropical deforestation. Kanmunnala azhiva paakkurathu. This is certification. Humans have contributed to the loss of these many tree species in the 28-year time frame in 2 sites. Climbers, on the other hand, take advantage of the climate change. They can withstand drier conditions and increase in density. World over in the tropics, climber abundance is on the increase due to climate change, more temperature, which promotes climber growth. Romba shrewd fellow. Trees are dull fellows. Look at the plus of them. In one site, Puthupet site, Urani site, increased, here decreased because tree irundadana line arko. Rombavum tree damaged or tree number down means line of suffer. Or level ku mele they can't withstand. Science paper 2012 they found world over large trees are dying due to climate change induced insect pressure. That's the message here. And linas take advantage, disturbed sites and drought more, CO2 level, and this is advantageous to linas. See, they overtop the canopy, grow in a flexible manner, reach the canopy. Achan Koil, Beautia parviflora, Tenkasi to Achan Koil route, Western Ghats. Lina stem is very flexible. They can turn around 1800 degree maximum. Tree not even 1 degree. That is facilitated by the parenchymatous tissue, white colored between the xylem. Xylem is broader in linas, can conduct water. Clear? This is from the book Ecology of Linas. We have 4 source books on linas as of now. First book by Charles Darwin, Cambridge. Second by Pudson Mooney, our friend from botany professor from University of Florida. Third and fourth, our books. We have 3 chapters here and 4th book from us. These 4 from Darwin's period to our period gives the state of art of lina science. Forests viewed from biome, biodiversity, trees, etc. and various uses of forests and their biodiversity as timber, fodder, etc. And thin climber, male, female, fruit edible, anti-cancer drug ready for marketing from Bangalore. From our data of lina were distributed Pyrenacantha volubilis of Icacinaceae. They found the distribution from our data, took the fruits, conducted research in UAS Bengaluru, ready to market the anti-cancer drug. For migraine, Ottrai Talavali, this Anai Coratan or Coratan fruit rind decanted with boiling gingerly oil. Asian forests are rich in gingers, 1100 species, curcuma, gingers and turmeric, curcuma, alpinia, amomum, etc. Gingers in Asia, marantas in tropical America. Maranta is arrowroot family, colorful ornamental plants. They grow as a colony. Lakshmana's life revived with Sanjeevini, Radiola rosea from Ladakh. Hanuman lifted Radiola rosea, and this contains the chemical rosavin, rosarin and rosin. It is an immune booster basically. Saffron is immune booster again. Saffron edukkanum. Namakalla lifestyle nariya change aganum. Market products oda quality suttama poiduchu. Namakku vara pala problem ku adu kaaranam. Saapidama irukavum mudiyadhu. மனசாட்சி இல்லாம ஹை பெஸ்டிசைட்ஸ் எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணி எதையும் மார்க்கெட்டுக்கு தள்ளணும். நம்ம சாப்பிட்டு தானே ஆகணும். நமக்கு இருக்கிற அவசர வாழ்க்கையில் இதிலெல்லாம் நிதானம் வரும்பொழுது தான் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் பேட்டர்ன் சேஞ்ச் ஆகும்பொழுது தான் நம்ம குவாலிட்டி ஆஃப் லைஃப். இட்ஸ் அ கொஸ்டின் ஆஃப் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் பேட்டர்ன் அண்ட் இட்ஸ் அ கம்பைன்ட் எஃபர்ட் அண்ட் எவ்ரி ஒன் இஸ் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள். Saffron is an immune booster. Last month I was in Kashmir. என்டையர் ஸ்ட்ரெச்சுக்கு ஸ்ரீநகரில் ஒரு 10 கிலோமீட்டர் ட்ராவல் பண்ணிங்கன்னா ஃபுல்லாக சாஃப்ரன் பிளான்டேஷன் தான் இருக்கும். இந்த ஃபீல்டு சாஃப்ரன் பிளான்ட் இவ்வளோ தான் இருக்கும். 10 இயர்ஸ் அந்த டியூபர் இருக்கும், குரோக்கஸ் சடைவஸ். அப்புறம் இதை மட்டும் ஹார்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க, ஒன்லி த ஸ்டிக்மா. குற்றாலம்ல டூரிஸ்ட் ஏரியா, கிரேட்டட் கோகோனட் ரெட் டைட், ரெட் நைலான் த்ரெட், இதை வாங்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய கியூ. How inhuman. This is a blood purifier, immune booster, and hence anyone can take it, although it is costly. It will be orange yellow in color but not red in color as you get in cheaper markets. Caution. Active ingredients are given here. Makhana, lotus seed in Bihar and UP. Uriel ferox, aquatic plant. Look at the corrugated spiny leaf. This is marketed. Excellent nutraceutical. Stomach urring, very good. Not more than 70 grams a day. Upper limit of intake. But excellent. This is the flower. Uriel, nymphaceae. இப்போ நிலம்போ போட்டிருக்கீங்கல்ல, இது யூரியேல். நிலம்போ, நியூஃபார், யூரியேல், நிம்ஃபயா, லிலியேசி, நிலம்போனேசி. Bamboos are fast growing, so also the cane or rattans, and they are used for many afforestation programs. You can try bamboos in your campus. It's worth it. Some corner you can grow. It gives lot of, in fact, carbon credit in the ONGC assessment அது ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும். ஸோ கேம்பஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ப்ரோக்ராமில் they are fast growing. So from terrestrial to coast mangrove, seagrass, coral reef, highly productive. Sundarban mangroves, they are important roots bind sediment and help preventing tsunami. The Pichavaram mangrove environment, carbon accumulation in sediments in the ocean environment, and hence called blue carbon sequestration as against tree storage. And after mangrove, if you in low tide sea, you have sea grasses. They are not algae, they are angiosperms. About by now total is 72 species in 12 genera, important genera. Pamban bridge, now getting ready. These are the algae and seagrass patch. You can comfortably work, you don't have to know swimming for seagrass research. A close-up of how we worked in the seagrass bed in Pamban. Close-up of seagrass, the dugong grass. Land cow feeds on land grass, sea cows feed on sea grass. This is Indonesian picture, underwater photography, not our picture. Smallest seagrass 1 centimeter, largest seagrass 2 meter tall. Land cow, land grass, sea cow, seagrass. Dugong, dugong. This is how in marine systems, sir was talking about marine systems, highly productive, equally important. We are affecting them also. Green turtles, turtle grass, Thalassia. That one Cymodosia. Look at the quantum, Dhanushkoti port. This much of production. They are highly productive systems. Mangrove, rainforest, coral reefs, seagrass, highly productive. Tons and tons of seagrass biomass. Corals are sensitive systems and many of them are affected. Coral bleaching in Australia is an important issue due to temperature. 24 degrees Celsius ku mela coral reef thangadu. Whitening, algal partner dies and finished. So, this is Cuba, and Andamans has a rich coral reef formation. Sand dunes are important on the east coast and elsewhere. They are good sand binder grasses. Close up of it, Ipomia, they remain unaffected even during tsunami. Within a year of 2022 to 23, see the number of species, more than 42,100 species are threatened with extinction. In the rate la poittu irundha evlo species minjum. Think process. Clear? Idu annually neenga check pannikalam. So you can log on to in the PPT venna copy pannikenga sir ta kettu for a recollection. படத்தை இன்னொரு முறை பாருங்க. சப்ஜெக்ட் மட்டும் தவறி கூட பார்த்துடாதீங்க. அது நம்ம அறியாம அலர்ஜியை உருவாக்கலாம். ப்ரொஃபஷனல் டெவலப்மெண்ட் இங்க முடிச்சு என்ன பண்றது? Various programs of research training for faculty and scholars. Sarado Lab, IISc, ISER Tirupati. எங்க ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் ISER Tirupati. IISc மாதிரி ISER உருவாக்கிட்டாங்க. Mohali, Punjab, Thiruvananthapuram, Calcutta, Bhubaneswar, ISER. So, periodically Government of India fellowship announce பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பான். வெப்சைட்ல பாருங்க. Lot of opportunities. Bioloxy.com ல லாகின் பண்ணிக்கங்க. 48,000 positions இருக்கும். JRF ல இருந்து faculty, professor position வரைக்கும். Bioloxy.com register பண்ணணும். Research fellowships, Indian Science Academy fellowships are available. Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, CTFS, Center for Tropical Forest Science, few months of training, free. National Center for Ecological Analysis and Synthesis, University of California, இது கொஞ்சம் high level. Commonwealth Fellowship, Fulbright Fellowship, Germany, Japan, France fellowships, Indo-German, Indo-France. இந்த fellowship இருக்கும், டைமுக்கு அப்ளை பண்ணணும், நிறைய டென்ஷன், சேஃப்டி ஆஃப் த கோயிங் கண்ட்ரியும் பார்த்துட்டு அதுக்கு பிறகு ஸ்டெப் எடுங்க. பிஹெச்டிக்காக வெளியே போய் மாட்டிக்காதீங்க, பேரண்ட்ஸ் பேங்க்ரப்ட் ஆகிடுவாங்க. ஃபெல்லோஷிப்பை என்ஷூர் பண்ணிட்டு அப்ளை பண்ணுங்க. பயோலாக்ஸில் உள்ள போனீங்கன்னா கண்ட்ரி நேம் ஆல்பபெட்டிக்கல் ஆர்டரில் இருக்கும், என்ன பொசிஷன் கிளிக். கிளியர்? பிரான்ஸ் ஃபெலோஷிப், அருமையான டெஸ்டினேஷன், நேஷனல் யூனிவர்சிட்டி சிங்கப்பூர், வெரி குட் லைஃப் சயின்ஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட். ஸோ நியரஸ்ட் யூரோப்பியன் ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ், Indo-US programs. Biodiversity loss, when you talk about Western Ghats in 70-year time 40% loss அப்பவே நடந்திருக்கு. Now we cannot say progressive deforestation. We are losing 5 species per hour from tropical forests alone. In Kolli Hills, this is how deforestation progresses. We need biodiversity because they are important for plant productivity, food security, and long-term research can give us much more details on the status of biodiversity with respect to climate change and the conservation need. Thank you very much.